2 in the morning. His wife had just entered the house. I received an unfamiliar number. He sent me a picture text message. The wife in the picture is living a wild life. He was still holding a bottle and twisting his waist. She looked just like a princess in a KTV, and right beside her was a man pressing close to her. Seeing this, I just remained calm, crossing his legs in front of his wife who had just returned. I received a text message. There are photos of you going to the bar above. Don't you want to explain? My wife took a deep breath and said slowly, I don't know what text message it is. Maybe a colleague posted it out of boredom. I need to explain what else I need. I just went to the bar with my colleagues. She wasn't lying, and was actually quite honest. There was absolutely no shame. There was time to go to the bar. There's no time to take the child to the playground. There was no time to attend the kindergarten's parent meeting. Do you know how disappointed Qian is? Are you even qualified to be a mother? My wife said, full of guilt. Sorry, honey, I forgot. Her eyes showed pity, bending over like a kitten, trying to please me. Her skirt was almost soaked by the rain. Originally, when entering, they used their handbags to cover the area, but now, it was fully revealed before me. This is almost more tempting than not wearing clothes. Not next time. You know that. I don't like going to places like bars, I said directly. Did you sleep with Liu Xingchen today? Rather than remaining cold and calm, it was as if telling a story. Liu Xingchen is a name his wife Xiao Hongli often mentions. He is an artist who graduated from the Royal College of Art in England. He is also his wife's newly appointed direct superior. Before crossing over, I was a professional swordkeeper. He had long used some methods to clarify certain things. My wife had never seen me like this before. Her heart was filled with discomfort. After hesitating for a moment, it was clear he was organizing his words. I really did go with Supervisor Liu, but it was a gathering organized by our department. Supervisor Liu and I really didn't do anything. I stared intently at my wife's charming face. Through changes in micro-expressions, I sensed the other's guilt. The other party seemed to be hiding something. You know I hate that person, and I remember you never went to bars. Your former minister has refused every invitation you have. You say going to a bar isn't serious. Why has it changed today? So you slept with him? I asked this question again. His wife's face flushed bright red as she said indignantly, Do you think I'm cheating? I'll tell you, I didn't. So you still go to sleep? No, I'll say it again. No. My wife's voice was loud and seemed confident. Micro-expressions showed that what his wife said was true. This actually felt a bit strange to me. He couldn't help but say the curse. All right, I believe you. I prepared milk and bread for you. Make sure to get some sleep. His wife probably never expected it to pass so smoothly. He was stunned for a moment. Feeling overwhelmed, I obediently went to the kitchen. Insulated milk contains an extra dose of sleeping pills. Make sure you can sleep for a whole day. I need a day to do something. After his wife came out, it seemed she had something to say, but after glancing at her phone, she swallowed the flour back and went back to her bedroom. Half an hour later, I went to the bedroom. My wife was sleeping soundly. Even after pushing for a long time, he still didn't wake up. I used my wife's phone to unlock it with my fingerprint. What caught his eye was the screensaver for the photo of his wife and Liu Xingchen together. In the photo, the wife's face is full of gentle smiles. It had been a long time since he saw that smile, and the distance between the two was definitely greater than that of an ordinary group. Opening the album reveals design drafts. Photos of me and the child were deleted one by one, just a handful of them. Then open Feishuan, and a name called Art Star is pinned at the top. Xiao Hongli. Heh, and you say you didn't cheat on me. His wife, Xiao Hongli, came from a prestigious family. The Xiao family is a prominent clan in Jiangnan, with an exceptionally strict family tradition. If such a woman cheats, so it definitely won't be because of money. It's not because of money, or because of love. Liu Xingchen, I murmured to myself. He felt even more sorry for the original owner. Xiao Hongli was Liu Xingchen who was added voluntarily. At first, my wife only asked for some artistic advice, but as time went on, gradually, it developed into hobbies and some personal emotional issues. The wife complained to Liu Xingchen about the dullness of life and her husband's incompetence. Between the lines was dissatisfaction with life and headaches for his daughter. Liu Xingchen's timely care seemed to give his wife an outlet to vent. I noticed that most of the information was still preserved. Some have already been completely removed. Then copy the phone to the computer. Next, the indoor air conditioner was set to 18 degrees. Then he shot Xiao Hongli a cold glance. At 7 in the morning, their daughter Qian got up. I washed her up based on Yuan Shen's memory. Suddenly, a thought struck him. Qian, when you were with Mom, do you know that an uncle often comes to the house? I have doubts about Xiao Hongli. It's because in her memory, Her daughter once told her about the original. There was an uncle who liked to give him candy. Unfortunately, the natives are too slow-witted. My daughter put down her toothbrush and looked up. An uncle once came to the house. I sneered and took my daughter to the study. He searched for Liu Xingchen's photo online and asked, "Is it this uncle?" Yes. This uncle even gave mom a beautiful dress. I sneered to myself. Chen Yipeng, I will avenge this grudge for you. I recorded everything my daughter said on video. I saved the recordings on my computer and phone. By the way, arrange for someone to focus on the investigation. Recent hotel booking records by his wife. It would be best if there was a hotel surveillance video. After dropping off their daughter at school, I immediately went to the pharmacy. Use the simplest medicine. Prepare the secret medicinal powder. I am the janitor. His greatest skill was using poison. Then I went to the company. Liu was in charge. I'm here to ask my wife for leave. I gave a half smile, looking at someone in his early 20s. The young man who was still okay said. This young man was Liu Xingchen. He probably didn't expect it. I will show up here. Obviously, he knows me. A trace of panic appeared in his eyes. Of course, that's no problem. Thank you. I patted it hard. Liu Xingchen's back. It looked like a greeting. In fact, the silver needle in the finger gap had already penetrated the clothes. It pierced Liu Xingchen's skin. My secret medicine was applied to the silver needles. These drugs are not lethal. It will only cause some symptoms. This is what is meant by killing people and striking the heart. I will let the shoulders and belly slowly give their money. A price more painful than death. Completely calm the original resentment. I used the excuse of caring for Xiao Hongli, who was ill. Took 3 days off. On the way home at noon. Sure enough, Xiao Hongli still hadn't woken up. The room was cooled by the air conditioning. Make the nest like an ice cellar. The effects of sleeping pills have not faded. I turned off the air conditioning. Then she fed Xiao Hongli some medicinal soup. These decoctions have the effect of numbing nerves and mimicking a severe cold. Plus, the cold environment is too much. I believe Xiao Hongli couldn't get out of bed for a whole week. I need time. Divorce requires sufficient evidence. In the eyes of the original parents, Xiao Hongli, as a daughter-in-law, is beyond reproach. Xiao Hongli, highly educated and attractive. In their eyes, it was equivalent to the princess being taken off the shelves. Of course, Xiao Hongli's contributions to the family over the years are also well shared. Although he studied the arts, but he hasn't picked up any bad habits, forcing simplicity and dignity. Usually, she wears only light makeup. Unfortunately, the woman who cheats becomes too fast. So-called love. It might really lower a person's IQ. Time ticked by, second by second. I was organizing materials in my study. Upload images and videos to a cloud drive. Hi. A sound of Xiao coming from the bedroom. 6:30 p.m. Xiao Hongli woke up. I changed my face. According to Chen Yipeng's memory, walk into the bedroom. Shuangzue said in panic. Wife, what's wrong with you? Are you sick? I'll get you some medicine. You should rest well. I turned to look for medicine. Apart from the panic on the bedroom's face, it turned into indifference. I bought a camera at the electronics market at noon. At the same time, he paid someone to install a virus on Xiao Hongli's phone. Every move Xiao Hongli made was right under my nose. The first thing his wife did after waking up was actually to message her husband. This did not surprise me. Is Chen there? I was sick. You may need to take leave. Could you help me prepare tomorrow's report? Dear, I'm here. How about you? Your husband asked you to take leave. Don't worry, I'll make the arrangements. Trust my level. Love you. Annoying. Don't talk nonsense. Delete it quickly. The above information is from Feishuan. Synced to my phone at all times. After automatic save, the message notification on Xiao Hongli's phone had been deleted. The information content can be clearly displayed. The ambiguous relationship between Xiao Hongli, Li, and Liu Xingchen. Although Xiao Hongli refused Liu Xingchen's invitation, but anyone with eyes could see the flirting and scolding intent. Xiao Hongli actually isn't shy about Liu Xingchen. It even has a somewhat enjoyable meaning. I walked into the bedroom carrying cold medicine and hot water. Maybe it's the sound of footsteps. The wife instinctively placed her phone under the pillow. This is a classic case of guilt. It has happened countless times over the past 4 months. The foolish native found nothing at all. Xiao Hongli said, her face full of emotion. Thank you, honey. But when I was holding her to feed her water, she instinctively dodged, but it was immediately forcibly controlled. The body's instinct is rejection. She also realized something was wrong. Don't trust cheating women. For love, they are willing to leave home and build a career. Even their own children are probably stumbling blocks in love. After taking the medicine, Xiao Hongli fell into a deep sleep. Mixed with the Chinese medicine I prescribed, Xiao Hongli only shows symptoms of a cold. Most of the time, I will be drowsy. I originally wanted to ask 7th sister Xiao Jinyang to help take care of it, because 7th sister has no children. My husband is the owner of an insurance company. Families are well off. She lived the life of a noblewoman at home early on. Usually, he just stayed at home, because Xiao Hongli would have to lie down for at least a week. I can't stay by her side forever. When I just took out my phone, but the phone in his hand started ringing. It was my mother-in-law. I composed myself and answered the call. Mom, is there something you need? Ipan, I've arrived at your place. Xiao Hongli wasn't caught a cold. Today, I'm here to take care of Hongli. You can go to work without worry. My mind shifted, and I replied with a thought. Mom, my phone got water yesterday. The system was rebuilt. The photo album inside was gone. Just now, teacher Chen from the kindergarten told me. Qian is about to graduate. I hope to collect family portraits of the whole class. Could you please tell Hongli? Then pass it on to me. Of course, I knew there was no family photo on my wife's phone at all. There wasn't even a photo of me and my daughter. There are two reasons for saying this. A way to test the mother-in-law's attitude toward her daughter's infidelity. One is to observe his wife's reaction. Do you feel guilty toward your children and family? Oh dear, can't you two call each other and talk to each other? Is there a conflict? If you have something to say, tell Mom. Mom will stand up for you. I pretended to be very uncomfortable and sighed deeply, as the doctor said quietly. She might have been too busy. My daughter wanted to go to the amusement park several times. She doesn't have time for any of them. But I can understand that too. She left early and returned late for work. I'll just take care of the house. I'm not afraid you'll laugh at me. I haven't been intimate with her for over 3 months. If this continues, it will inevitably affect their relationship. Mother-in-law, Brother Wu, said angrily. And this matter, let's talk about her properly later. Don't worry, she was taught by me. I won't do anything shameful. Mom. My mother-in-law didn't notice anything different. I thought to myself, don't let me down, my dear mother. Mother-in-law Wu Ji was carrying an old hen. He had already entered the house. She still remembered my instructions. The first thing was to go to Xiao Hongli, find a family photo. It was quite a coincidence. Just now, Xiao Hongli and Liu Xingchen. After the phone call, the experience was exhausted. Lying completely on the bed, mind is clouded and drowsy. She could sense her mother coming in, but it was only a gesture of raising an arm. Not a single word was spoken. Why is it burning again? Ipan went to the hospital to register for you. A short time will be a remote video call. Have the doctor prescribe you some medicine. Such a good husband. You're luckier than I am. Fifth brother muttered to himself, while helping Xiao Hong and Li Se carry their feet. Mom, I'm tired. No strength. Time to sleep. Words from my mother. Xiao Hongli heard everything clearly, knowing her husband had returned from a business trip. Go see yourself right away. A trace of shame welled up in his heart. Xiao Hongli turned aside. He didn't want his mother to see his face. My mother-in-law said, you child, sleep soundly. By the way, the kindergarten teacher asked for a family photo. A handful of phones broke in hand. I'll pick one for you and transfer it over. Xiao Hongli was already groggy. My head hurt badly. Instinctively, I picked up my phone. The mother-in-law saw how upset she was, so he took the phone and said, forget it. Let me take a look for you. Qian is so beautiful. You must find a beautiful one. I listened to the sounds coming from the surveillance camera. A cold smile curled at the corner of his mouth. If not in a taxi, he probably laughed out loud. My dear mother-in-law, take a good look at your so-called good daughter. What exactly is it? Xiao Hongli had just called Liu Xingchen. The phone wasn't locked either. The moment my mother-in-law opened her phone, saw photos of Ping Po, his face began to turn pale. Finally, she stood up and began to tremble all over. Opened the album again. He found nothing. Saw it on my sync phone. The mother-in-law stared intently at the photo of Meteor Chen and Xiao Hongli. A close-together group photo zoomed in. Xiao Hongli, get up for me. My mother-in-law's face was very grim. He threw the blanket off in one swift motion. Then he tugged at Xiao Hongli's pajamas. This left Xiao Hongli completely overwhelmed with energy. Her beautiful eyes opened slightly as she spoke weakly. What are you doing, Mom? Let me lie down for a while. There's still work to do tomorrow. My mother-in-law roared. Doing things, doing what to do. Which man did she sleep with? Embarrassing things. Get up for me. After Xiao Hongli was yelled at, only then did he wake up from his semi-conscious. When she saw the phone in her mother's hand, her heart skipped a beat. No one knew where he got the strength from. He instantly grabbed the phone. She said discontentedly, who told you to touch my phone? The entire body of the mother-in-law and wife. He asked through trembling teeth. You have secrets, huh? How long have you been together? How far has it developed? My wife asked in confusion. How long has it been? Normally, she would have noticed immediately, but her illness made her reaction too stubborn. You and the man in the ping bao photo. How long have you been together? You know I hate lying the most, and she hates cheating the most. I thought your father and I would teach you how to behave properly. I didn't expect to be surprised by what a surprise I had today. My mother-in-law couldn't stop saying things in anger. Only then did my wife notice the photo showing the ping bao on her phone. Almost instantly, his hair stood on end. She said anxiously, "Mom, it's not what you imagine. We were just ordinary colleagues. She is an international master of art and design. My idol. Just like you worship Manhwa. Aren't you a fan of celebrities too?" Idol. The mother-in-law stared fiercely at his wife and said through gritted teeth, "Do you take me for a fool? I'm your mom. Is it an idol? Could it be that I still can't tell?" Yipeng said, "You two haven't been intimate for 3 months. I thought you were just too busy with work. It turns out your heart has long since flown out." Chen Yipeng told you. "This bastard. Why does he say everything? We haven't had sex for 3 months. That's just because I'm busier. I absolutely did not cheat. No one has ever touched me. Mom, trust me." As she spoke, she started crying in grievance. Originally, it was fine if my wife hadn't mentioned me. Saying this only made my mother-in-law angry. Smack. The mother-in-law slapped his wife directly across the face. After all, they are mother and daughter. He gathered some strength, but it was still crisp and small. "Your conscience is eaten by dogs. Beepeng had sacrificed so much for this family. Did you know? Your dad is hospitalized for hypertension. Everyone runs back and forth together. I stayed in the hospital for 3 days. What about you? I came to see him. He's your real father. Now that you've been promoted, you're hooking up with other guys. If word gets out, will your dad and I still have any face? You think I can't tell?" Idol. Is there really that much of a idol fan? What are his hands doing? Do you have any sense of shame? Do you know you're already married? Do you even know you're the child's mother? How do you want your daughter to see you? The mother-in-law scolded. A series of questions and rebukes. Soulmate. It was simply stupid to the extreme. Mother-in-law Wuge usually doesn't speak at home. As long as he speaks, he's considered an old father-in-law. You have to listen obediently. Xiao Hongli said with a hint of confidence. "Mom, I didn't cheat." His gaze was forceful, dodging away. My mother-in-law took a deep breath and said, "Who is this person? Why are you asking this? Why can't you ask? What's there to be afraid of? Aren't you supposed to be so confident? It can make my daughter utterly enchanted, lost in obsession. She couldn't even tolerate her husband and child anymore. I can't ask myself anymore." The more she spoke, the angrier she got. He slapped his wife the back several times. "Liu Xingqing is my boss. The head of the design department will soon be promoted to director." My wife lowered her head, scrolling through her phone. Looking at the photo on the ping bao phone, he felt a bit uneasy inside. He had indeed felt a bit different lately. During the exchange between Chen Miyu and Liu Xingqing about art, even her sisters and mother noticed. What hurt her most was neglecting her daughter. Her daughter used to love being with her too. I don't know when it started. Her daughter slowly disappeared from the world around her. The more I think of my daughter, Xiao Hongli couldn't help but shed tears. He said no more in shame. My mother-in-law sighed and said, "I believe you wouldn't do anything shameless." While Yipeng was unaware, "You and that man will stop here. First, delete the photos from Ping Bao's post, then resign from the company. Our family doesn't lack you for a meal. Thinking about starting a company. Mom will give you money." My mother-in-law's tone was calm but carried an unyielding tone. Xiao Hongli felt a pang in her heart. Wiping the tears from his face, he said firmly, "I won't quit. I will maintain a colleague relationship with Liu Xingqing. Mom, I love art and design. I assure you, from now on, they would only be colleagues. I know I don't care enough about my family. Chen Yipeng may have complained about me before. I'll find a chance to apologize to her. The album is also my problem. I was too absorbed in work during that time. Definitely not again." A very sincere apology. Clearly, the mother-in-law still trusts her daughter, but he was watching the surveillance on his phone. I scoffed at it. My mother-in-law said earnestly, "Take my mom's advice. From now on, don't meet that man privately. Once you take that step, there's no turning back." "Mom, I understand." My wife nodded. "Put your phone to the photo with a guaranteed copy." Deleted everything in front of my mother-in-law. This scene was seen on the phone surveillance. I couldn't help but shake my head. Xiao Hongli didn't listen at all. He was clearly hesitant when deleting the album. Her mother-in-law could make her delete the person on her phone, but she couldn't erase the person in her heart. I was moved. A new woman can't be accepted. Afternoon and evening, Xiao Hongli was thinking about her own future and what has happened in the past few months. It really felt like a big dream. Her mother's words in the morning were not taken lightly. On the contrary, it deeply moved her. I'm really an idiot. Xiao Hongli bit her lip and murmured to herself. Did she love Liu Xingchen? Are you willing to be with her forever? Are you willing to leave your husband and adorable daughter? She silently asked herself. She might hesitate about the first answer, but 3 questions are placed together. She made the decision almost instantly. I will not leave my husband and daughter. I just wasn't mentally content with being ordinary. My love for art made me admire Liu Xingchen. That's right, it's the kind of idol fans have for their stars. I don't love her. Xiao Hongli repeatedly confirmed her feelings. Suddenly, he realized he hadn't spent more than 3 months with his family, especially daughters. Where was he at that time? She worked with Liu Xingchen on design work at the company. After work, eat together and shop together. But she didn't have time to take her to the amusement park anymore. The more Xiao Hong and Li thought about it, the more ashamed they became, their eyes turning red. Soon, Qin was filled with tears. She really didn't deserve to be a mother. I am not qualified. When a person has the thought to reflect, memories of the past will come to mind one by one. Although Chen Yipeng doesn't understand romance or art, they also have no common language, but she was always caring and considerate toward him. No matter how late it was every night, he always got home with a hot meal. Tears were so intense that she didn't want to touch him anymore. Chen Yipeng would also bring him a wash basin and gently help him bathe and relax. Just like a couple of days ago, he was clearly playing so wildly. He even drank a glass of wine. Some colleagues even sent their husbands some outrageous pictures. After returning home, Chen Yipeng still prepared steaming hot milk and toast for himself. How could I be so foolish? What a happy family I am. I can't let my husband find out. Mom was right. We must keep our distance. The more Xiao Hongli thought about it, the more guilty she felt. He couldn't help but murmur to himself, even if he held on to his own bottom line. But deep down, he knew her relationship with Liu Xingchen was also a betrayal of Chen Yipeng. People can't fool themselves. His reflection didn't last long. He received a message from Liu Xingchen. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. See you at the romantic restaurant. A simple message once again left Xiao Hongli conflicted. The phone in his hand felt as heavy as 1,000 pounds. Sorry, Liu was in charge. I still have a few design drafts to finish tomorrow. I'm afraid there won't be enough time. If Xiao Hongli truly regrets it, she wanted to sever ties with Liu Xingchen. The first thing to do is blocked and deleted all of Liu Xingchen's contact information, then go to the company to transfer or resign. This is the true attitude of reflection and remorse. In fact, deep down in Xiao Hongli's heart, I still feel a bit unwilling. A few minutes passed. The message came again. Dear, let's discuss Eternal Heart. Next is the supplementary design. Xiao Hongli looked at the message Liu Xingchen had sent. This inexplicable emotion seemed to be a sign of overpowering reason. If it weren't for the earlier regret, I'm afraid he has already agreed by now. Liu was in charge. About the Eternal Heart, let's talk at the company. There's no need to go to a restaurant. Liu Xingchen's messages were restored quickly. Call me Supervisor Liu. Dear, aren't we soulmates and confidants? That's how you call me. I feel very sad. Did your useless husband find out about us? Don't say that about my husband anymore. I have a family now. Maybe my previous behavior caused you to misunderstand. Maybe I was wrong myself. From now on, I hope we will only maintain a working relationship. Xiao Hongli's hands quietly paused. He seemed conflicted. Her eyes were also painful and sad. I'm about to respond to the urgency. I want to see you one last time. Dear, I'm here for you. Since you want to end it, why not leave each other with a beautiful memory? In the end, Xiao Hongli agreed to Liu Xingchen's invitation, forgot what he had promised his mother before. He also selectively forgot his previous reflections. The last meeting, we just saw each other one last time. I will return to my family. Xiao Hongli murmured to herself. 2 streams of blue tears fell again. It seemed as if she were mourning a love that ended without a trace. At the same time, Liu Xingchen nervously said while putting down his phone inside the villa. He agreed to meet. You promised me money. When will you give it to me? If I were here, you can definitely recognize them at a glance. In front of Liu Xingchen was Senator Zhu Guide's driver and bodyguard. The bodyguard said coldly, as long as you get Xiao Hongli to divorce, then take him out of territorial waters. The boss will give you generous rewards. Liu Xingchen nodded and bowed as he spoke. This woman is very foolish. As long as I say it, she will definitely listen. Please rest assured, boss, the bodyguard said disdainfully. Recently, I've been focusing on formality. And a reminder for you, Xiao Hongli's father, Xiao Changhe, was not a good person. Be careful yourself. Liu Xingchen said proudly. Understood. What do you instruct the boss? That's how I do it. This Xiao Hongli is just an idiot. I could easily have him go to nightclubs as a drinking companion, the bodyguard shouted coldly. Knowing the right boundaries, he couldn't push Xiao Hongli too hard. He also wanted to leave him isolated and helpless. The most important point is, you can train them, but she couldn't actually have a relationship with him, because a scumbag like you isn't worthy. Do you remember? He grabbed Liu Xingchen's neck with his right hand. His 5 fingers were slightly closed in a haze. The immense power is like hydraulic money. It almost suffocated Liu Xingchen. The lack of oxygen causes pale complexion. Instinctively, I began to struggle. Teach a lesson well. The bodyguard turned and left. Liu Xingchen's face was dark and unsettled. A punch slammed hard into the ground. If it were in the past, he might have resisted, but the private external hard drive is lost. This plunged him into utter despair. Who knows when this thunder will explode? Twisting the carp I had just bought as I returned home, mother-in-law Wuga was cleaning. Hearing the door lock ring, he hurried over to greet him. "Mom," I said respectfully, even though the mother-in-law in front of her was Xiao Hongli's mother. But I couldn't direct my anger toward this person. I know from the surveillance, my mother-in-law's worldview crisis. She worked a lot to help me maintain the family. She also did her utmost effort. "Hey, good kid, leave it to me. Mom will make you something delicious. You've worked hard at work. Come in quickly." Her mother-in-law's words warmed everyone's hearts. It made me feel as if my own mother was truly caring for her child. The plan began to waver. If the kind mother-in-law before her knew her daughter's true nature, how heartbreaking would that be? But I still felt very reluctant. Pretending not to care, he said, "Mom, let me do it instead. Hongli loves eating carp. You will have to take care of her later." She hated gratification the most. After hearing my subtle words, my mother-in-law, a look of pain and distress appeared on his face. He stroked my hair and said, "Child, I know you've been wronged. This girl is immature. Don't take it to heart." Wu Ji's eyes reddened slightly. What a wonderful son-in-law he is. How much love must one have for their daughter to be so devoted? What exactly was his daughter doing? Thinking of this, a surge of anger surged in his heart. He turned and shouted loudly, pushing open the bedroom door. "Xiao Hongli, are you deaf or dead? Can't you hear your man is back? As your wife, you don't even know to come and get involved. Are you the empress? The world revolves around you. Do you need me, your mother, to bow to you? I'll serve you meals." Those words were very harsh. It made me feel comfortable listening to it. Actually, I know half of those words were meant for me. What mother doesn't care about her daughter? Xiao Hongli walked out expressionlessly. Her mind was now filled with thoughts of shooting stars. Her mother's good intentions were completely unapparent. Instead, it made her feel resistant. "Mom, you're my real mom. How do we get along? Don't worry about Chen Yipeng." "What do you mean? Being a fish would be a bit of a burden for you. If you want to do it, then do it." "Who are you saying that to?" Xiao Hongli looked at me with a cold gaze. His words were like a cold wind. I took a deep breath, the wall holding back my temper, trying hard to control myself. He didn't go and slap this woman. Cheating women really are not human. Thinking about the revenge that would come tomorrow, I calmed down and pretended to be weak. He said with a smile, "Wife, please don't be angry. You were just still sick. Make sure to rest." Chen Yipeng is Xiao Hongli's seasoned sycophant. That's not wrong. After Xiao Hongli finished speaking, deep within the heart, actually, I do regret it a bit. After all, not long ago, only then did I reflect on wanting to return to my family. And to make matters worse, it happened to coincide with Meteor Chen. My mother-in-law looked at me in disbelief. He stared intently at his wife. It felt like the first time, just like seeing her own daughter. Xiao Hongli was being stared at, feeling uncomfortable all over. Late Wanfa said, "Mom, I'm not in good shape today. A severe headache. I'm going back to rest first." My mother-in-law said nothing. He sighed deeply. His eyes were filled with worry. After hesitating for a moment, he decided to talk to his daughter again, so he pushed the door open and followed him in. I was halfway through cooking. Seventh sister Xiao Jingyan returned with their daughter Qianqian. "Daddy, Qianqian misses you so much." A young girl wearing a white long dress. She threw herself into my arms. "Good daughter, is today a good day? Dad's hands are too dirty. I'll go play with you later." "Good, okay. All right," my daughter said sweetly. Seventh sister Xiao Jingyan said, "Yipeng, why didn't you go to the company today?" I looked up and noticed the woman in front of me, even if they had encountered it not long ago, yet still amazed. Xiao Jingyan's bearing was like wind and rain. Her figure was absolutely perfect. What attracts me the most? She still carries the aura of a virtuous wife and good mother. I nodded and said, I'm worried about Hongli's illness, so I didn't go. Sis, I'll be working you these next few days. He restrained his own thoughts like a traitor. A trace of gloom flashed in Xiao Jingyan's eyes as she spoke. We're family, yet you're still so polite. When preparing slippers to enter the house, she accidentally bumped her leg against the edge of the shoe cabinet. He suddenly lost his balance. He fell backward. My reaction was very quick. He dashed forward in a single step. He wrapped his arms around Xiao Jingyan tightly. Sis, you okay? Xiao Jingyan's eyes reddened. He said with a pained expression, it hurts. Let me see. I didn't give the other party a chance to refuse. Straightforwardly like a princess carry, he carried Xiao Jingyan onto the sofa. Xiao Jingyan was completely unexpected. He was lifted into the air. His breath was filled with the masculine energy unique to men. After lying on the sofa and getting rich, Ju had just been aware of what had just happened. Her upturned face instantly turned bright red. The shyness in her heart left her unable to speak. I took off the other person's socks. Not a trace of sweat smell. Instead, it has a faint orchid fragrance. Her 5 sparkling toes are especially adorable. The area near the top of the foot is a bit red. I gently massaged a few times and said, there shouldn't be any bone injuries. Rest for a while and it should be fine. I'll apply thread and spraying ointment for you. No? Xiao Jingyan pulled his foot back and called out to me. She had been separated from her husband Sima Zhong for many years. Since getting married, she hasn't interacted with any men, especially in places like the feet that are so light. She hadn't even touched her husband. The few massages just now almost shook her soul away. Right now, his mind was still filled with Suma. I felt the temperature on my face rise rapidly, feeling hot and hot. All right then, lie down a little longer. I didn't insist. He still hasn't solved his own troubles. Naturally, she had no interest in provoking this deeply resentful woman. Xiao Jingyang was lightly bitten by her teeth. Her red lips. He felt an inexplicable sense of loss in his heart. A shadowy figure flashed in her beautiful eyes. When the rice was finally served, Xiao Jingyang had just stood up from the sofa. With a jolt of his foot, he actually fell again. Several people gathered around the ground. I just ran into the shoe cabinet. It hurt so much, my mother-in-law said with concern. How grown up are you? And you can still touch them. So careless. Mom, stop talking. So embarrassing. Xiao Jingyan struggled to get up but couldn't get up. I shook my head and couldn't stand it anymore. He walked over and wrapped his arm around Xiao Jingyan's back. The other hand passes through both legs. He easily carried her to the dining table. During this process, Xiao Jingyan and I had our full, perky buttocks. Inevitably, some touches are made. This made her instantly dazed. A misty mist welled up in her beautiful eyes. Her red-haired upturned face looked like a peach blossom. Her heart was pounding wildly. Xiao Jingyan felt a bit reassured inside. Damn enemies. How could she be so bold? His whole body went numb. He almost couldn't even sit steadily in his chair. My mother-in-law watched clearly from the side. Her gaze scanned Xiao Jinyang and me back and forth. But he didn't say anything. I openly found the ointment and said, Mom, let me do it. Or you come. Let me do it. My mother-in-law took the ointment and began applying it to Xiao Jingyang. Meanwhile, Xiao Hongli felt an inexplicable discomfort in her heart. It's like a toy that originally belonged to you. It was as if someone had forcibly borrowed it. Xiao Hongli mechanically rummaged through the rice in her bowl. Not as spicy as chewing on spicy food. She felt strange. Chen Yipeng just gave his sister a hug. In the past, he wouldn't have taken it to heart at all. But today, he just felt a bit uncomfortable. Xiao Hongli couldn't hold back. Nameless Fire couldn't help but blurt out casually. Today's dish is really disappointing. Qian, don't eat too much. I quickly stood up and said, sorry, I'm going back now. I made this gesture for my mother-in-law and seventh sister to see. The goal was to isolate his wife. Sure enough, my mother-in-law flew into a rage. Sit down. Loves to eat. If you don't like eating, go back inside. Yipeng sat down to eat. You're just spoiling her too much. His wife's rebellious spirit surged instantly. He slammed the bowl heavily onto the table. If you don't want to eat, then don't. After saying this, she returned to her bedroom in a still. He slammed the door shut with a slam. Qian was so frightened she didn't know what to do. Xiao Xiong looked very wronged. She was about to cry. I rubbed my daughter's head and said, don't be afraid. Mom is just feeling unwell. Wait until your body recovers. Shall we go to the amusement park together? My daughter said with a smile. All right, maybe in her world. His mother was truly despicable. Chen Yipeng has taken on too many responsibilities he shouldn't have. My mother-in-law turned her head and secretly wiped away her tears. She really couldn't face anything more. Xiao Jinyang was restless. She vaguely sensed that her sister's anger was directed at her. But I feel quite wronged. Clearly, this wasn't his fault. Why should he throw a cold shoulder at him? I suddenly asked. Mom, Do you and Dad have something to do tomorrow? My mother-in-law asked in confusion. There shouldn't be any issues. What's wrong? I said. I might have something to discuss with you two tomorrow. I hope you can find the time. Sis, could you help me bring the family again? Xiao Jinyang and her mother-in-law both looked at each other. He looked at me again. Nothing could be seen from my face. My mother-in-law seemed to have sensed something. He nodded with a heavy heart. All right. Your dad and I will wait for your call. After finishing the meal, it was already 5:30. My parents hadn't arrived yet because the flight was delayed. I hurried to wash the dishes. He left home under the pretense of going to the company to pick up some documents. After I left, my mother-in-law and Xiao Jingyan left. Everyone guessed that tomorrow's events might be related to Xiao Hongli. I had just stepped into the room in the early morning. A gel body mixed with the scent of shower milk. It was pressed against my back. The warm, soft touch evokes endless dreams. Then a pair of fair arms wrapped around my body. Xiao Hongli whispered in a shy voice. Honey, let's rest. I miss you so much. The cool touch brought by the sexy True Sleep group. It nearly broke down my willpower. If possible, I wished I could turn around and tear apart the sleeping group right away. Then he gave the unfaithful woman a harsh lesson. But the next second, reason pulled me back again. Even if Liu Xingchen hadn't touched her before. But who knows if this woman has been touched by another man? Women who are water-loving and promiscuous women are not to be trusted. The more beautiful a woman is, the more she likes to pretend and deceive. I took a deep breath. He grabbed Xiao Hongli's arm with his right hand. Just as he was about to shake her off, the pulse of the other person came from his fingers. But it left me completely stunned. Joyful pulse. 40 days pregnant. My mind exploded with a roar. Anger surged uncontrollably in his heart. He turned his head and spoke each word deliberately. It's been 4 months since we last got intimate, right? My gaze was extremely dark. This kind of indifference was something Xiao Hongli had never encountered before. It looked as if he wasn't human. Instead, it was like a beast slaughtered by Dai. The air around seemed to begin to freeze. If there are people who have served in the military or carried out secret missions, it would probably be obvious immediately. This is murderous intent. Xiao Hongli forced out an ugly smile. I don't want to touch you, because I don't want to be the one taking over. I'm not an honest person. These words were like the biting wind of winter. Xiao Hongli trembled all over. Aggrieved and angry, he said, Chen Yipeng, I'm your wife. My body is spotless. I swear I haven't wronged you. I have my limits. I pointed at the front door and said, get out. I don't want to say it a second time. Your oath is not trustworthy. Xiao Hongli felt her own face. It was as if he had been sharply glared at. Her immense sense of shame drove her. She slowly stepped back. Chen Yipeng, you've changed. You are no longer the Chen Yipeng I know. I apologized. What more do you want? Do you want me to kneel and beg you? Xiao Hongli, with tears streaming through her tears, burst forth. She has been pampered for too long. I have no idea what a real apology looks like. Ultimately, the original Chen Yipeng bears some responsibility, constantly compromising and seeking perfection, blindly serving and pleasing others, without communicating. The result is that your beloved wife ignores your efforts, trampling your dignity hard underfoot. I said calmly. Chen Yipeng was already dead. Then he ignored the woman. He pushed her out of the study. I was provoked into a surge of anger. For Chen Yipeng, his married life was a deep shame. Judging by the timing of Xiao Hongli's pregnancy, it seems to match the situation. In other words, the child in Xiao Hongli's belly might be Chen Yipeng's. A little over a month ago, Xiao Hongli said the company's design department had a dinner. Chen Yipeng noticed early on the change in his wife's attitude. He wanted not to suspect anyone. But that day, by some mysterious force, he ended up leaving work with the design department. Then I took a taxi and followed behind my wife. The place where my wife and colleagues gathered for dinner was a high-end restaurant. Chen Yipeng anxiously waited outside for several hours. An unusually intimate cheek touch. This Liu Xingchen was clearly taking advantage, but his wife was content with it. He even waved with a cheerful smile. Her mind was practically filled with water. Wei Bingbing, her best friend, clapped her hands and watched the commotion from the side. Sure enough, her best friend agreed. Chen Yipeng has always taken great care of his wife, his close friend. Whenever there was something good, he would prepare a portion for the other party. But they just fanned the flames. Chen Yipeng continued to follow his wife home. Wei Bingbing sat in the taxi. He only took his wife to the building below. Then he left. After Chen Yipeng returned home, they found clothes scattered all over the floor. In the middle of the living room was a puddle of vomit. His wife was already asleep on the bed. This was the first time Chen Yipeng had seen his wife get drunk. In the past, she never touched alcohol, never attending banquets or gatherings. It was only after Liu Xingchen arrived that things gradually changed. Chen Yipeng tidied everything up efficiently. I also checked out the underwear. No suspicious traces were found, so he picked up the basin, ready to wipe his wife's face. However, what Chen Yipeng found unacceptable was, after his beloved wife fell asleep, he actually shouted at floating dust from his mouth. Even men like this can't stand it. So, with hatred still lingering, Chen Yipeng had a sexual relationship with his wife. It was like venting revenge. After Chen Yipeng finished, it was hard not to feel a bit guilty. He quickly wiped his wife down with a towel, and put on new underwear. Erase every trace completely. Throughout the entire process, the wife was left with only reactions. But under the influence of alcohol, his consciousness fell into a deep sleep. The entire memory wandered away. I was 80% confident. The child in Xiao Hongli's belly was Chen Yipeng's. However, children who are unwilling to have a child during a mental affair are not allowed. If this child is born smoothly, from then on, every birthday would be remembered for his wife's affair. This disgust and hatred will transfer onto the child. For the sake of the child's future, he cannot be made to suffer. All of this sin is the work of cheaters. Moreover, it might even be Xiao Hongli's mischievous child who was fooling around with Jian Fu outside. Then you definitely can't have them. All of this will be revealed tomorrow. Half an hour later, I came out of the bathroom. Perhaps it was the impact of crossing the river. This physical condition and fitness rate. Visible changes are taking place. In less than 3 days, the previously sagging flesh on his lower abdomen had faintly disappeared. Instead, it is chunky abs. The bedroom door was left open. Xiao Hongli curled up together, her eyes red, heard me walk into the living room. Xiao Hongli had no idea what her motives were. She immediately jumped off the bed and came to the living room to block me. But seeing that I didn't wear it, I shouted. He was instantly stunned. The muscle outlines on my body are clear. The muscle lines are absolutely perfect. It has a strong sense of body art. When did you start working out? How come I didn't know? Xiao Hongli couldn't help but saliva. She studied body art. He knows all too well what his muscles are. The difficulty that ordinary people can train. In the past, Chen Yipeng never exercised at all. By middle age, he started to gain some weight. My arrival seemed to rejuvenate this body, and it became even more perfect. Originally, Xiao Hongli, as his wife, should have noticed immediately, but the two hadn't been in close contact for a long time, getting close to Bi Tian. So my body changed. It is not classified as an inexplicable supernatural phenomenon. Instead, Xiao Hongli thought she had overlooked it. Xiao Hongli has always considered herself unique. Spiritual compatibility between partners is what matters most, even if it's just making friends. But when faced with my unconventional body, he actually started to feel flustered, his face flushed and his heart racing. His gaze unconsciously lowered to look at the top of his foot. Xiao Hongli, don't you have something to say? Go ahead. What are you afraid of your own husband? Xiao Hongli secretly encouraged herself. His right hand unconsciously touched the muscles in my lower abdomen. A layer of goosebumps broke out all over my body as I took a few steps back. My retreat made Xiao Hongli a little sad. But just now, he reflected on some things. The sparrow you found couldn't blame your own husband. If there's no love, you can choose divorce. He didn't want a divorce. She also didn't want to admit that she and Chen Yipeng had a romantic relationship. All these conflicting feelings left him somewhat at a loss. Ever since he returned from that night at the bar, his mindset is getting worse and worse. She felt her husband had changed. A home that once made me feel secure. It seems everything seems normal, but the sparrow gradually became more repressed. Honey, I'm sorry. This was Xiao Hongli's third apology tonight. When no one treated him as a princess, he is nothing. I could tell that even now, Xiao Hongli still hadn't realized the root cause of the situation. It's just an instinctive urge to compensate with your body. Thus, they reach the guilt caused by emotional infidelity. No need to say sorry. There will be time tomorrow or the day after. Let's talk about it a bit more. You are not just right now. I don't want to say much either. Go to bed early. I tried to maintain a calm attitude. No one could tell I was angry. Only Xiao Hongli felt a sense of establishment. He pressed his red lips together, his eyes brimming with tears as he looked at me and said, "All right, honey, I really love you. You have to trust me." The word love makes me feel sick. If you hadn't heard the surveillance footage on your phone, a conversation between Xiao Hongli and Liu Xingchen, I found it hard to believe this woman. He actually has the nerve to say he loves Chen Yipeng. I believe you. I grew more and more irritable, so I replied perfunctorily. In the morning, the teacher asked me to send a family photo. Did mom tell you? Is it Wang Wang? If you have free time now, just send it to me. I remember there was a photo that was, let's take Qian to the museum. I think that one is pretty good. Hearing this, his wife's body involuntarily trembled. His whole face turned pale. A deep sense of shame welled up in his heart. He didn't dare meet my gaze at all. My phone is broken. Not long ago, I just made a formatted speech. Sorry, honey, I'm going to the phone repair shop tomorrow, she said nervously. He simply had time to come up with a logical lie. Fortunately, I know what happened, so I didn't want to expose him. I said indifferently, it's fine. I'll go look in the computer. There should be backups. You should go to bed early. Xiao Hongli felt ashamed in her heart. Just mentioning your phone album makes you feel guilty. Watch helplessly as I leave. He didn't dare say another word. He returned to the bedroom like a wooden figure. One collapsed onto the bed. The once warm home seemed to be gone. Tears soaked the whole handkerchief. Tomorrow is the last time we meet. I have not let down my family. I love my husband, love the child. It was as if every word he spoke had a self-hypnotic effect. Xiao Hongli slowly drifted off to sleep. Xiao Hongli's unusual behavior tonight. Maybe it was a clear warning from heaven. At the same time, back home, Xiao Jingyan finished washing up Qian and then coaxed her to sleep, sitting alone on the sofa, watching TV dramas out of boredom. The villa's living room is luxuriously decorated, yet it still feels empty and cold. Sigh. What exactly is this enemy trying to do? Xiao Jingyang, feeling upset, tossed the remote aside. He sat completely on the sofa. The pink-white cotton-lip pajamas are very conservative, but she couldn't hide the phrase Feng Yu's delicate body. After a moment, Rushui's body suddenly stiffened. Xiao Jinyang let out a long sigh, as if lamenting his own misfortune. Who can truly understand her loneliness and solitude? She opened the door. Sima Zhong, reeking of alcohol, walked in drunk. You're back. Have you eaten? I'll make you a cup of hot tea. Xiao Jinyan's voice trembled slightly. She still hadn't shaken off the guilt she had just felt. Facing her husband, she felt inexplicably guilty. After eating, they quickly went to rest. Sima Zhong set the document bag aside, looking at the gentle, beautiful woman before him. Completely satisfy your inner self. She never experienced what it felt like to be an emperor at the company, but at home, in front of this eldest daughter of the Xiao family, he himself was the emperor whose word was lawful. Unfortunately, she was not Xiao Changhe's biological daughter. Sima Zhong was somewhat jealous of Chen Yipeng, that coward, but soon, Xiao Jinyang made her even more frustrated. The fair, deep go he looked over from this angle. It can make every man have a nosebleed. For Sima Zhong, but it was a painful torment. A wife who is worth watching but can't eat. It's like a joke laid out in the open. After Xiao Jinyang finished arranging her slippers, Sima Zhong bypassed him directly. This beautiful woman in need of nourishment still went to the bathroom. Xiao Jinyang sighed. No one knows how much longer this kind of life will last. Unfortunately, she did not have the right to choose her own life. The night deepened. Xiao Jinyang woke up in a daze. He first glanced at Qian beside him. He checked the time again. It was only 1 in the morning. I originally planned to sleep a little longer. Suddenly, something felt off. Light filtering through the door crack proved someone was in the living room. He put on his pajamas. He gently opened the bedroom door a crack. He looked toward the living room. What puzzled him was, Sima Zhongjing sat alone on the sofa making a phone call. Xiao Jinyang knew Sima Zhong was busy with many things. Just as I was about to go out and persuade him to sleep early, suddenly, Sima Zhong mentioned someone. Shu Guide, we are partners. I'm not your subordinate. If you want Xiao Hongli, it has nothing to do with me. I've already been very cooperative with you. Right now, all I care about is when he could get the money Xiao Changhe had. I misappropriated NMD company premiums. This matter is about to break down. Your plan is best to succeed. Chen Yipeng really is a coward. It's normal for a wife to cheat and take revenge on Liu Xingchen. It had been months with no sign of him. Add another fire. If it really doesn't work, I'll arrange for him to do it myself. Then he framed Chen Yipeng. Once Xiao Changhe spat out the money. How did you cause trouble for Xiao Changhe? None of it has anything to do with me. Sima Zhong deliberately lowered his voice. At the same time, he turned to look at the bedroom door where Xiao Jinyang was. Her expression was no longer as gentle as usual, but rather gloomy. His eyes were bloodless, but it was filled with resentment and greed. Xiao Jinyang tightly covered her mouth. His eyes were filled with fear. His body stiffened and unable to move. The intense panic nearly drove her to collapse. She never imagined that her husband, whom she spent every day with, would be this kind of person. Although Sima Zhong lacked the power of a man, but in daily life, she is also gentle, so she never resented me. At most, they lament the unfairness of fate. But Sima Zhong's secret, devilish demeanor was like that of a demon. It completely shattered Xiao Jinyan's impression. The gentle and kind homebody didn't know what to do for a moment. Wait a moment. Sima Zhong suddenly stood up. He walked toward the room where Xiao Jinyang was. After pushing open the door, Sima Zhong quietly stared at the two people on the bed. After a while, he closed the door and left. Xiao Jinyang, hidden under the blanket, relaxed completely. Her mind was in complete chaos. If the husband really is the villain behind the scenes scheming against his sister's family, so what should I do? And what will she do to me now? Xiao Jinyang used her limited intelligence. She chose to endure for the time being and couldn't stand in the confrontation. Otherwise, Qianqian would be hurt. Even if he died, he wouldn't feel at ease. Such an uneasy night passed. Xiao Jingyan waited until Sima Zhong left home. Only then did he sprawl on the ground. Fear prompted her to quickly get dressed. Limping along, he took Qianqian into a taxi. At the same time, Xiao Hongli also went out. He drove toward the company. In my heart, I wasn't just thinking about my own design drafts, still thinking about the 11 o'clock noon date. Her mind was in utter chaos. After washing up, I planned to go pick up my parents, then go to meet my parents-in-law. Unexpectedly, Xiao Jingyan brought Qianqian home first. Xiao Jinyang was too anxious. Sweat covered his forehead. The moment he saw me, it was as if he had found his backbone. She immediately hugged me tightly. She was dressed very casually today. Thin long skirts can't hide a great figure. An enormous harvest. When squeezed out, it brings destructive damage. Don't rush. Take your time and speak slowly. Did something happen? I tried hard to keep my eyes from looking down. He spoke in an extremely gentle tone. To be honest, I really like Xiao Jinyang. If the other party isn't already married, I might actually develop a relationship with him. It was Sima Zhong. Both Hongli and you are in danger. Xiao Jinyan's pretty face was filled with pain. The foot injury I got yesterday had gotten worse during the recent run. Her ankle was swollen and very high. Upon hearing the name Sima Zhong, I already had my guess in my heart. As the wife of the patient at the border, she must have heard something. The other party can inform you immediately. This is enough to prove she is a good woman living in a single household. He was countless times stronger than Xiao Hongli. I said in a deep voice, no rush. Let me put your feet in first. Otherwise, your foot would be ruined today. First, let me clarify that I have no intention of retaliating against Sima Zhong. I just feel sorry for this beautiful woman. I asked Qianqian to get the medicine. He helped Xiao Jinyang sit on the sofa. Xiao Jinyang furrowed her eyebrows slightly in pain. He tried hard to bring the windfish's legs together. She turned sideways and shifted her huge hips. Qianqian obediently brought me some ointment. Then do your homework yourself. I slowly took off Xiao Jinyan's socks. Her movements were gentle, as if she were treating a precious treasure. Xiao Jinyang bit her lip lightly with her teeth clasped. His whole body trembled slightly with nervousness. Her personality was naturally somewhat timid. Even if I forced myself to rub the swollen, painful area of her ankle, she was just like a sheep. He lowered his eyes, not daring to make a sound. I kept rubbing my delicate ankles with my palms. As honey twig ointment seeps in, Xiao Jingyan felt a chill at her ankles and then growing hotter. She said, trembling, it's already healed, right? You probably twisted your ankle again just now. If not treated promptly, it can be very troublesome. Hang in there a little longer. Just think of me as a doctor. There's no doctor like you. Her intense shyness made Xiao Jingyan's skin as smooth as white jade from a sheep's branch. It presents a beautiful rose red. Even if he tried his best to suppress his excitement, if only it had been a little longer, Xiao Jinyang couldn't guarantee she wouldn't do something embarrassing. All right, you can get out of the fields now. After I infused all the medicinal power in the plaster, he tied it up a bit. Besides the scent of ointment in my palm, there was also a lingering fragrance like the grey branches and orchid-like grass, lingering in the air. Thank you. Xiao Jinyang gasped for breath. My heart felt a sense of loss, but after the shyness passed, she remembered the main matter. After she told me about Sima Zhong's situation, I immediately understood. Perhaps it is impossible to explain everything, but it was also clear who the enemy was. Sima Zhong embezzled treasures and funds. Definitely can't afford it. So he was thinking about bankruptcy for the company, to make up for his own losses, pinning the crime of injuring Liu Xingchen on me, given his understanding of his father-in-law. Besides these kinds of things, my father-in-law definitely needs to intervene, whether for the reputation of the Xiao family, and for his own daughter. The mysterious sum of money that might exist in my father-in-law's hands. These are the goals of these people. The goal is never me, Xiao Hongli, or me. No, it is incorrect. Xiao Jingyan just said. It was Shu Guide colluding with Sima Zhong. He even specifically mentioned Xiao Hongli. Could it be that two groups are plotting at the same time? Is it really necessary to go to such lengths? With Shu Guide's abilities, Just find someone to kidnap Xiao Hongli, and you still need to go around such a big circle. He specifically sent people to seduce Xiao Hongli into cheating. This incident gave me a headache too. There seem to be many clues. In fact, it complicates what was once clear. Forget it. Either way, it has nothing to do with a small figure like Chen Yipeng. I am like a tiger fighting at the mountain pass. Just don't mess with me, or let you experience what Resident Evil really is, I thought to myself. Next, I took Xiao Jinyang and Qian to pick up Chen Yipeng's parents. Then I went to pick up my mother-in-law and father-in-law. Both sets of parents met with less intimacy, especially Xiao Changhe, who kept a cold face from start to finish. It seemed to be suppressing his anger. Seventh sister Zhao Jins hugged my arm. He said with a smile without any reservation, "Brother-in-law is having a family gathering today." I asked without a trace, "There is indeed something to be done today. Why do you have to come along?" Zhao Jins lowered her voice and said, "Yesterday, I heard my uncle and aunt arguing. Uncle wants to call my sister and you over." Aunt stopped her. "Be careful," I reminded him. With Zhao Jingjing's intelligence, he should be able to sense it. "They are coming for our home." Zhao Jingjing's expression turned serious. I didn't say anything. Driving toward the romantic restaurant, everyone fell silent, speechless all the way. Finally, I broke the silence and said, "Let's go to the romantic restaurant." I booked a private room. Xiao Hongli went to work in the morning. It's also close to the company. Xiao Changhe said in a muffled voice, "You have the final say." It was time to have a proper talk. The atmosphere remained tense and oppressive. Soon, the car stopped in the parking lot of the romantic restaurant. Everyone got out of the car. I saw it was almost 11 o'clock. According to mobile phone surveillance footage, the two scoundrels had already arrived. So he dialed the Bluetooth phone. "Hey Hongli, where are you?" I asked deliberately. "I'm running a construction station, so everyone can hear it." Xiao Hongli tried to speak in a calm voice. "I have something to do at the company," I said slowly. "Is it convenient now? My parents have arrived. Our family also includes my father and mother-in-law. Let's have a meal together." There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Even the elderly father-in-law and mother-in-law couldn't find fault. Xiao Hongli quickly replied, "Then tonight, I guess. I'm at the company now. I really couldn't find the time. I still have a design draft to revise. My goal has been achieved." So everyone could hear it clearly. How does Xiao Hongli, this woman, have time to spend with Jianfu? There is no time to spend with children and parents. Zhao Jin's eyes darted around. A flicker of footing flickered in his eyes. Hands behind his back, standing at the back. Xiao Jinyang held Qian in her arms, completely lost in thought. She didn't notice that she was almost pressed against me. This may be a person's subconscious search for a sense of security. Anka noticed the rear guard and frowned. But speaking in this setting was also inappropriate. "Forget it. We'll talk about it tonight. Today, let's start by welcoming the in-laws. Let's go." Xiao Changhe waved his hand and walked in first. 11 a.m. romantic restaurant. The large restaurant was barely seated. In the middle of the restaurant, a musician was playing the piano. The melodious sound of the piano echoed throughout the hall. This is a restaurant themed around romance. Countless love stories have unfolded, sometimes breaking up, sometimes getting back together. Xiao Hongli was dressed very beautifully today. A dark grey V-neck fitted dress. This highlights her already top-tier figure, making her even fuller and sexier. He even put on a faint red lipstick and applied eyeliner. He was completely free of any illness, exuding an irresistibly alluring charm. "Dear, you're really beautiful today. It's for you." Liu Xingcheng saw the beauty before him. He couldn't help but say in his heart, his mouth dry as well, "He has been tormented by my poison to the point of unbearable pain." He was still under the effect of painkillers. His spirit was somewhat excited. Roses represent love. Xiao Hongli's lips, after taking it, he casually placed it on the table. At this moment, his feelings were extremely complicated. Xiao Hongli said softly, "From now on, let's maintain a normal relationship." "All right?" "I don't think that's good." "Why?" Liu Xingqing immediately panicked. It was clear they were about to succeed. Why was he about to run away with him? "I already have a family. I don't want my husband to misunderstand." Looking back now, I may have done something irrational. I forgot that I was already a mother. Xiao Hongli spoke each word emphatically and emphatically. It seemed like he was talking to Liu Xingchen. It also seemed to be directed at himself. Unconsciously, her eyes filled with tears of gold and silver. It made her look even more pitiful. Liu Xingchen's words of protection are very genuine, as long as the woman in front of him had the urge to back down. So he poked his head out. He stared intently at the beautiful woman before him. She said gently, "You said this before. We are spiritual partners." the pursuit began to waver. That bitch Liu Xingchen, equating art with bites. Foolish woman. Often, they really fall into the trap. Xiao Hong and Li Xing were even more confused. She looked at Liu Xingchen, this internationally renowned master artist. Emotion and Li Xing began to clash non-stop. Dear, I know you love art. Come with me. Leave England. It is a paradise for art. I love you. Loving you is more than anything. I also want to introduce you to my mother, my family. I am willing to marry you. We will always be together. Liu Xingchen said excitedly. He grabbed Xiao Hongli's hand in one swift motion. The entire restaurant echoed with Liu Xingchen's passionate and heartfelt confession. Naturally, this drew everyone's attention. Such confessions have happened countless times in romantic restaurants. The waiters were already used to it. They all stopped their work and began applauding and offering their blessings. That woman is so beautiful. That man is truly blessed. Discussion can be discussed in minutes. Our whole family also looked over. At this moment, Xiao Hongli seemed startled by Liu Xingchen's confession. For a moment, he didn't react, so he didn't pull his hand back from it. Liu Xingchen's confession was like unveiling his wife, the ugly veil she has always tried hard to hide. I led the whole family to look at the table where my wife was sitting. They also recognized the two people sitting at the table. The bright red roses on the table were especially striking. It was as if fresh blood was spurting from his heart. The whole family froze in place at that moment. The old father-in-law, Xiao Changhe, was trembling all over with anger. Blood pressure spikes due to excessive anger, constantly hitting the horse. He was so bad he could barely stand. Mother-in-law Wuge wished she could find a hole to crawl into. He wished he had no daughter at all. She held onto Rongxin tightly, so that the two of them don't fall down. Zhao Jingjing had already anticipated this. A faint, barely noticeable smile curled at the corner of his mouth. He covered his daughter Qianqian's eyes. She didn't want the child to witness this ugly scene. Seventh sister Xiao Jinyang covered her mouth. He looked at his sister in shock. For a moment, she felt an unexpected excitement. I think it's about time. Everything was within my expectations. The proposal scene between two scoundrels is truly spectacular. Don't say I deliberately watched Xiao Hongli get seduced and remain indifferent. He even brought his family to visit. Fly pudding with seamless eggs. If he hadn't cheated, he wouldn't have felt guilty. Why lie on the phone? In the past, Xiao Hongli was flawless in front of her family. Even if I present evidence, it's not as useful as what they see on the spot. At this moment, his wife was moved by Liu Xingchen's words. His eyes reddened slightly. A faint sound of saliva came from his pink nose. When Liu Xingchen tried to wipe it with his hand, I charged forward like a tiger pouncing on me. The one with the surname Liu. You're seducing my wife. I'll kill you. My voice was like thunder. The two scoundrels were startled. Liu Xingchen didn't react in time. I punched him hard in the face several times. In an instant, the bridge of his nose broke and blood flew wildly. Pain. It hurts. Liu Xingchen had never hurt like this before. Every punch felt like the head of a hammer. All he could do was desperately protect his vital parts. I watched as he covered his nose and held his head with both hands. Like a stray dog, it let out a painful wail. He couldn't help but sneer inwardly. I focused on the weight. In fact, he was very measured, except for the first few punches. Other strikes used special torture techniques. The targets were all the areas where the opponent's neural secret techniques were targeted. Even during the injury examination, it wasn't even considered a minor injury. In the end, the Public Security Bureau imposed at most 5 days of detention as punishment. At this moment, Xiao Hongli's mind was completely blank. Only Liu Xingchen and me remained in my eyes, and didn't notice the family members walking over. Husband doesn't want it. Stop fighting. Someone's about to die. Xiao Hongli watched as the force of my punches grew stronger. Instinctively, he grabbed my arm, pulling hard. This little woman just couldn't pull me along. But then I had an idea. Naturally, they fell backward. Then he slammed his head hard backward. I am a professional light walker. Control over the environment and mechanics has penetrated into the bones. This guarantees absolute safety. The back of my head hit the leg of the table. Blood instantly stained the back of his head red. A large amount of fresh blood spurted out. No one knew how serious it looked. In reality, it was just a scratch on the scalp. However, right under everyone's watchful eyes, this was clearly Xiao Hongli's way of protecting his mistress. She pushed her own husband down, and she caused her husband to be seriously injured. And then, her mother, Rongxin, cried out in a quenched voice. He lunged at me like a madman. She tried to help me up with all her strength. Then, in a panic, she tried to press my wound with her clothes. Mom, what are you doing here? Xiao Hongli's mind was completely blank. The moment he saw Rongxin, his heart began to race wildly. He said, feeling flustered, I didn't mean to. It wasn't me. Not me. I just want to. He didn't finish his sentence. Xiao Changhe charged forward like an enraged lion. He raised his arm, anger in his eyes. He slapped it hard. At this point, there was no left defender, which was very strong. Suddenly, there was a loud smack. Xiao Hongli was knocked to the ground by the slap. His mind buzzed, his eyes shocked. A red handprint appeared on her delicate, snow-white cheek. At the same time, a trace of fresh blood seeped from his ear. Meanwhile, Liu Xingqing snapped out of it. After standing up, he happened to see Xiao Changhe knocking his wife down. He thought Xiao Changhe was the helper I had brought to catch the cheetah. To re-establish his masculine spirit, he charged straight ahead. "You old fellow, the woman who moved me, go to hell." Liu Xingqing swung his fist and struck Xiao Changhe's chest. After all, he was young, although his body was weak, but even an elderly man like my father-in-law couldn't stop him. That punch nearly knocked Xiao Changhe out of breath. Xiao Changhe took a few steps back. It was only because Anka caught him in time that he didn't fall. Rongxing let out a wail. With bloodshot eyes, he pointed at Liu Xingqing and shouted loudly, "My son is in trouble. I want your life. Just you wait. It wasn't me. I don't know anything." Only then did Liu Xingqing notice me lying in a pool of blood. He thought someone had died. Now his whole body started to feel warm. He pointed at Xiao Hongli and said, "It was this woman who pushed him. It has nothing to do with me. She was the first to seduce me, actively at my faciue. If you're looking for her, just go to her." After saying this, he rolled and crawled toward the exit of the restaurant. Zhao Jint took Qian out of the hotel. Xiao Jinyang helped her mother support Xiao Changhe, and hurriedly prepared for emergency medication for heart disease and hypertension. Xiao Hongli made no excuse. His gaze was hollow. It was as if he had completely lost consciousness. In fact, at this moment, her heart was truly cold. If Liu Xingqing could show some responsibility, she could still feel a bit comforted. But reality dealt him an even louder slap. His judgment really is poor. How did you end up falling for her? Yesterday, she had promised her mother not to contact Liu Xingqing again. Why did he suddenly come out to meet up? I just wanted to end things there, then return to the family. Why didn't fate give me this chance? Xiao Hongli looked up in a daze. What met her was her mother's disappointed and resentful gaze. It was as if he had seen his enemy. Her mind was now somewhat out of her mind. It took her a long time to remember that her father had been beaten by Liu Xingqing. Dad, how are you?" Xiao Hongli got up. He wanted to help his father, but his mother Muga pushed him aside. Xiao Changhe said weakly, "Tell him to get lost. I don't have this daughter. Tell him to get lost." His face turned pale. He seemed unable to use much strength. At this moment, Xiao Hongli felt an unprecedented despair. He looked again at me, lying in a pool of blood. Uncontrollable guilt and heartache welled up in his heart. "Honey, how are you? Honey, say something. Please forgive me. Sorry." Xiao Hongli knelt directly on the ground. He reached out to hug me, but under the gaze of his mother Rongxin as if he were an enemy, he dared not touch him. "My son is not your husband. Don't touch him." Rongxin held my head. His eyes were filled with hatred. At this moment, his daughter-in-law was already his greatest enemy. He covered his face with both hands, constantly gasping for breath and apologizing non-stop. But he also knew it was all too late. Who would believe that Xiao Hongli was innocent? He did not cheat. His body was still clean. Xiao Hongli tasted what it means to be plain and unchangeable. My mind was spinning. At this point, some of the guests nearby took out their phones and started recording videos. His own wife beat up her husband for her lover. Her lover beat up her own father again. There were all kinds of things to say. The incident was quickly uploaded online. A hidden current began to surge as a result. Probably no one would have imagined this. A storm swept across Linhai. That's how it all began. Someone was seen injured in the restaurant. The first thing I did was call an ambulance. Emergency doctors and nurses. He pushed my father-in-law and me toward the parking lot. Xiao Hongli followed at the very back. His right hand carefully tugged at one of my pant legs. It was as if this could make him feel at ease. His mother, Rongxin, was worried about her son's injuries. He didn't have time to get angry at his daughter-in-law. "Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." Xiao Hongli cried so hard her eyes were like pear blossoms. The eyes are red and swollen. And as time went on, after the slap on the left cheek, the palm print had turned a purplish red color. The swelling is terrifying. In the end, Rongxin was a bit softer, seeing the crowd gathered around. Plus, the granddaughter needs a biological mother. We can't just force him to death, can we? But just as he was about to speak, an unexpected voice interrupted. "Sister, where are you going?" The speaker was a woman dressed in luxurious clothes. Standing next to her was an elderly woman wearing bright red lipstick. I squinted and looked over. Discover this woman. It was the same face where she had met at the company. Liu Xingqing is the so-called bar-running sister. Xiao Hongli panicked when he saw the two of them. She recalled what Liu Xingqing had just told her. Today, he was going to introduce her family to him. But there were already enough misunderstandings just now. It was hard for her mother-in-law to finally talk to her. If he was misunderstood again, he would be truly wronged. Fei Shui seemed not to have seen these farces. Instead, he deliberately brought the old woman over and said, "Mom, this is Xingcheng's girlfriend. Xiao Hongli, take a good look. This is your future and your wife." Fei Shui shouted loudly. Wu Ji and Xiao Changhe, who were originally about to get into the ambulance, and both my parents turned their attention to the direction of the snow waste. Xiao Hongli's face flushed bright red. The official shouted loudly, "You've got the wrong person." "I'm not. Get lost." Fei Shui pretended to suddenly understand. He patted his head and said, "I understood. Look at my brain. Xingchen said you're about to get divorced. I almost forgot. I'm sorry. Mom, let's go." The old woman sized up Xiao Hongli with a cloudy gaze and said, "Big buttocks make it easy to grow. This daughter-in-law is quite nice." The two of them chatted and finished their conversation effortlessly. Leaving Xiao Hongli behind, despair began to fall.